when I was younger, my father went to Europe, stationed in Europe because he was in the Air Force. I was like 2 and 3. I didn't speak it fluently, but I did know some German a little bit. But even though I didn't in England, I didn't. We had an accent because when you're 2 and 3, you pick up what that environment is. It's even the same. I've noticed it when living in the States. I remember I took a 1 week training course in North Carolina, and I was only there for like a week. But when I called to talk to a family member, they could tell that I had a North Carolina accent from only being there like 2 or 3 days. Oh. And it happened when I was in college. I was in a big class with like 100 people, and the professor would call on different people, and people were roommates with somebody that might have been from New York or from Boston, and they found themselves sounding like their roommate because they lived with their roommate a month or 2 months, a year, and they might be from DC with just a kind of regular accent, but then they found themselves sounding like they had a Boston accent. But it's your environment, and you pick that up. Yeah, it shapes you. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's Zanzibar Swahili is shaping my Swahili now. I speak like a Zanzibar.
Wait,
And every time I go home, it's like, huh?
Your mom didn't understand, or your siblings?
Sorry. Yeah, that's who we speak to day out. So we just pick up on that. Because there are like some different things that they pronounce that we don't pronounce them the same. Or we might mean a different thing, because also Swahili have variation.
That's right.
Coastal Swahili, inland Swahili, island Swahili. They're all different types of Swahili. Yeah.
Wow.
Deep. So there are little subtleties to look out for, you're saying, even for you.
It reminds me, it might not be exactly the same, but say you were in Colombia, or you're in Guatemala, or you're in Mexico. I'm sure the Spanish or whatever is going to be a little different. It sounds different, because I can tell a person from Mexico than a person who's from Puerto Rico. I finally am able to know the difference when I hear it. If the speech is just a little different. I know when I hear a Mexican accent, it seems thicker to me than a Puerto Rican. So, but the Spanish could sound, some of the words, they might mean a little bit different or something. So yeah, I know what you mean.
It sounds different. I think language varies depending on places and the culture that is surrounding that place.
Yeah. No, that's okay. It's a question. I got that.
So that's good. Okay, so one thing I know we like to do is go shopping together in the local market. Mom, what's shopping been like? What's it been like adjusting to shopping here? And then Evelyn, what'd you think of that?
I'm blessed to have people that speak the language. Because
Need some English.
to speak. Like when I go, if Evelyn goes with me, that's always a blessing, because if I'm asking for certain things and and the locals may not understand what I'm saying, at least she can help me. So that's a big plus. But I think the difference is they barter. Like they say, okay, you ask for how much something is, and you're like, wait, that's how much, and so you go back and forth with say they say something's 5,000. You're like, maybe 4. Maybe, so they go back and forth. Whereas in the States, when you go, the price is the price. It's a fixed price. They're not changing up on that. So that's
how many? Yeah. What's the shilling to the U.S. dollar?
Well, like say if I'm getting something that's like 5,000 shillings, it could be like, I don't know, $2 and something, or maybe a little less. So
those conversions. So you got the conversions there?
Pretty much. I can kind of figure, I guess because we've been here for quite a bit, I can kind of figure, it's almost like a little less than half. So if it's 5,000, it's like $2.50 or a little less. So it's a little less than half of what the
dollar is like 2,000. Something.
Yeah.
But here it's like with the bargaining part, like at the market, some people might find that like it's tiresome. But it's like I'm just trying to buy some tomatoes. I'm not trying to like spend half an hour going back and forth with you because of tomatoes. That can be taxing for people who are not.
Yeah.
But for me, since I grew up in the culture, sometimes it's even fun to do that.
Gotcha.
So they mention the price and be like, no, I have this.
Yeah.
Oh, because it's like you know what's fair and what's not fair. That because I'm born here, so it's easy to tell.
Gotcha.
Actually, one of the things that I remember to mention, some of the people have difficulties because a lot of you are expats. So say something is, because you don't know, bargaining is everywhere. You can either give them that's the price, because if you don't go low, that means that's what they're selling it for.
Yeah.
But a lot of you, because you didn't understand how much, and because the dollar is very high compared to the shilling, a lot of prices are like, that's just $2. That's $5, that's cheap. But I'm like, huh?
Because you're from here, you know it could be lower.
It can be lower, but that's expensive. So I think the bargaining part is like easy to create relationships. That's how people create a relationship in the market. But sometimes you have to be careful because the moment they, realize that you don't speak the language, then they have to.
Right.
Yeah, so you need to be careful.
Now, in the States, there are places that do bargain. They have big flea markets in Virginia and other parts of Maryland, what's called a flea market. And it might be a whole corner block with all these different booths and stuff. So they do a lot of bargaining there. But if I'm just in my community and I'm going to a certain store or a smaller market, the price is what it is. But they do bargaining and bartering back and forth in a lot of different flea markets, because they're famous flea markets in certain parts of Virginia and certain parts of North Carolina that we used to go to from time to time. And they're going back and forth with prices and stuff. So they do that. But if you're, like I said, if you're not familiar, then you can be, I still wasn't good at it though. I've been in that environment, but I still wasn't
Good at bargaining.
trying to figure it out,
So how come if you speak English, stuff costs more?
I can give a reason, maybe Elvin, because I think because they feel because we are from possibly the States that we make more money and that we can afford it. So is that one of the reasons, Evelyn?
I would say yes, because the media made us believe that Americans, Westerners, have a lot of money. Which isn't right, because if you all have the price of something should be the same to everybody, but because these are local vendors, they don't have a set price. So when I wake up today, this is cheaper, tomorrow it's expensive, depending on how they get it and the season of things. But once you speak English, they'll be like, so you're for right now, we might get you for like a couple more change than what we usually get with this. So it's like we think a lot of Americans or a lot of Europeans have a lot of money.
Yeah. Wait, say that again.
I grew up in a community. For a lot of us in Africa, I would say generally, given my experience, I used to think a lot of people from the West have money. Because it's like when you do mind calculation of like how much is the plane cost from there to here, that's millions of money. How much do you stay in a hotel? So how do you tell me you don't have money where you paid the 4 million flight ticket to here? Like,
No, wait.
Make it make sense.
We moving rapid a little bit. What in the world is 4 million? A 4 million ticket? What does that mean? In Tanzania?
$2,000.
Yeah.
$1,000.
So 4 million what?
T-shillings, sorry.
4 million, no, all good. So 4 million T-shillings for a ticket.
Could be like 2,000 something.
USD.
Somewhere in there.
Okay. Mom, have you navigated the American tax when you were in the market? Like your feelings and how have you gotten around it? Or learned to.
I guess I'm kind of used to it now. I don't get too bent out of shape because I know that when I come to some areas, they don't have a price. Like if I go in certain places in the States, there's going to be a price for how much the apples are. There's going to be a price. It's going to be posted. I see the price everywhere. Whereas I notice now when I go to some of these, they don't always have a posted price. So there's not a lot I can do about that. I have to go on what the person's telling me, and if I choose to barter and see if I can bring it down, then fine. If not, I either go on and pay for it or I try to go to another place. I don't always like to go to a whole lot of, I might go to maybe one other place, but I'm not gonna go to 3 and 4 different places trying to get cheaper. I'm just not gonna do that. But I've kind of learned that where we are, and I've been here long enough to know, okay, when I go to Darajani or I go to certain places, this is how it's set up and this is how it is. So I have to decide if I'm gonna go, if I'm gonna deal with that or not, or I don't go. So yeah, I just work within it.
How do you ask how much is something in Tanzania?
Is it Chinkapi?
In Swahili.
Is that it?
Shilingi ngapi?
Shilling?
Yeah. Shingapi for sure.
Okay.
Like, shilingi ngapi?
Okay. So you've learned to deal with it,
Mm-hmm, yeah.
and it doesn't bother you
No,
as
no.
much.
Because I know, it's not that I'm this big rich person, but I know that 9 times out of 10, I can afford it, so,
Yeah.
and I know it's a lot less than what I would have gotten, because I know even in the States, stuff is going up, so come on.
Inflation.
Yeah, inflation and stuff, and I know that going to certain places I've gone to in the past, a bag of apples or a bag of this or that, I mean, I could get a bag of apples that may have like 10 or 11 in there, and it could be $4.99. Whereas here, I could get a bag that has maybe that amount, and it's like, I don't know, $1 or something. So it's less. So I kind of go that way on what I've known in the past or whatever, and I just okay, I can deal with that. Especially getting meats and stuff. Meats have gone crazy in the States. We're getting meats here. It's so inexpensive to what I've known in the past. And so, I've learned to do it.
Yeah, but I think having the knowledge of like you go to the market, so
Mhm.
it's almost like even with the bargaining comes when you know like this is a bit overpriced
Yeah.
for the regular price. Because you could go, for a bunch of tomatoes, this is how much it's called. For
Right.
a bunch of, this for a kilo of meat, this is how
Mhm.
much it costs
Yeah.
usually.
Right.
So if you find a difference of 2,000, 1,000, you will definitely things have gone up.
Yeah.
But if you find a difference of like 10,000, you will like,
Yeah,
no.
yeah. So you kind of, you weigh it to see.
Was the biggest surprise for you living in Tanzania, Mom?
I guess there's a few. Not seeing street signs and stoplights. They're few and far between. Like if I was to go somewhere, I don't know this name, there's not necessarily a street sign. We're used to that. We're directional people. So, if you go down this way, there's the name of this street is, or the house number. Some places don't have a house number. And we saw
Sure.
the same thing in Rwanda. Sometimes you didn't necessarily see a house number, but they did see streets, so it's a different community. But it's like, those are the things that trying to get used to that. The driving's a lot different. They go out in and out of lanes. It's like they're always in a hurry to go somewhere. We're always saying, slowly, poli. We're taking our time, and they're so used to just moving quickly, and so that I'm still not used to that. So that aspect. I'm getting used to it, but just products, knowing that when you see something, you might have to get it more than what you usually do because you may not see it again.
Yeah.
Because the way things come in on a ship or come in from somewhere, I don't know how they work. The different stores work with different distributors. I don't know how that functions in reference to how they were in the States. So I might see a shampoo that I'm familiar with, like say a product that you see in the States, a Cantu hair product. They do have that here, but I might go to a particular store and they have it, and when it runs out, I'll go and get it. Go back to see if I can get it, and they don't have it anymore. And then I might go back in another week or two, and they don't have it. I might go back in another 6 months, they still don't have it. So some things they don't replenish with. Whatever they get on the truck or whatever, on the trip, that's what they get. So things are not necessarily a continuous product. Some are, some aren't. So I'm just dealing with it. I can't say I'm used to it. I'm just trying to deal with it.
Just trying to deal with it. Oh, we have another question. Lisa Valentine says, "Hello, Eve. Does
Hello.
does Zanzibar have employment opportunities for dentists?"
Ooh.
How would you answer?
I would say yes, but there are no like so many hospitals if you're looking to like have, because most of the practices that we have here, they're integrated in a hospital. And so I would say yes, I think. Very much, because we don't have a lot of dentists here.
Mhm.
And like most of the services that people want, they don't have it.
Mhm.
So definitely, I would say yes, there is an opportunity for a business, for sure. Employment, that varies depending on what they're looking for.
What's the immigration like for a foreigner who would want to do that or to get a job in general?
So getting a job here is it's a bit of a process. I think it's the same in each country. You have to have a working permit that allows you to work in a certain institution or organization or company. And yes, as if you have it, you can definitely be employed anywhere if you have a working visa for us, for here, for this country. And the process can either be that the company that hires you process it for you, or mostly that's that, or get a business license if you're planning on opening a clinic for yourself.
Wait, so people could even open a clinic for themselves? That's a possibility?
It is a possibility, yes.
Oh, okay.
Just get the right visa. I think you get investment visa or something, and you're good to go.
Okay. So those are things for folk to consider. Look into whether you're in medical, like Miss Lisa being a dentist, or whether you work for another company. Look to see, if I heard you right, babe, see if your company has, I guess, either offices in an African country, or how did you work? You didn't say spot. What did you say?
Working permit.
A working
The
permit. Okay.
office you're working for will either help you process it, or the company that hired you. So it's like someone in that country you're planning to go has to help you process the working permit. But for a business, you can just kind of like choose, because they have, I think, do more research for sure, but this is just my general understanding. You have to go to the immigration and they'll
Yeah.
tell you what kind of visa you need and what are the process of application.
Yeah. Because I know of at least 2 or 3 dentist offices. One I think is about functioning. One is still trying to function. I think she was waiting for some type of governmental papers or something. But she showed me pictures of what it looks like, her offices and everything. So there are some, at least 2 that I know about on the island, not too far from us, that are maybe not totally up and running, but are still in the process of getting going. So.
And is that the way people need to approach working in Africa in general, hun? Either starting with the office you work with and seeing if there's a permit you can get that way, or, well, you know what? Yeah, starting there. Because I ask it like this, and if you repeat yourself, it's okay. Are there jobs for Americans in Africa, in your experience?
No.
Say again?
We're battling with jobs ourselves, so no.
And so the way around that is what? What would you advise? And if you repeat yourself, that's fine.
I would say if anybody wants to get employed, this is a growing country, so whatever you think is an opportunity, you can think of investing in opening up something for yourself. Just making sure you pay tax in the government, you have the right papers, and I'm so sure that the immigration will help you, or the lawyer you get to help you settle up, will take you through what you need to have a business here.
To have a business.
Because I think it's basically, depending on where you're going, and that's where the research comes in, finding out where you're going, what jobs are people doing there? Or what finding out if I wanted to open up a car dealership or something like that, would I be able to do that? Is that something that's there already, or is that something that's available that I can do? So I guess it's trying to find out through the government, it's like you said, through immunization. Can you do something like that? Is that something that's feasible to do before you get here, if that's your background? You know, 'cause a lot of people think they can just come here and go up to some building that's already running. They may not have that already running. So you have to find out, is that something that you can start when you get here? You know,
Or even if the country allows for expats to have it. 'Cause
right.
For us, we have some businesses that foreigners or expats cannot have it. They're
Yeah.
only meant for locals.
Right.
So do your research to know what kind of business with a foreigner or expat or foreigner or definitely or expat are allowed to do, and then you navigate. You get your lawyer to take you through all the information.
That's very good. That was good advice as well, Mom. Look to see what industries, whether there's an office for it or whether you would bring it, or whether you would bring it as an entrepreneur or not. See what the needs of the country are. Do you see people doing that, Evelyn? No, you good. Mom, Evelyn, do you see people? How do you see, I'll do it like that. How do you see people approaching employment and or entrepreneurship here in Africa, in Tanzania?
I can tell you those that I already know about. I know people that have a restaurant. I don't know all the ins and outs of how they got the restaurant, but I know they still had to go through locals. They still had to go through specific departments here that deals with opening a business, a restaurant business. But they still had to work with a local to do that. They couldn't just, it's not just their baby. They had to kind of connect.
Team up. That's the law. Okay.
I know, what's another business? I know it's a restaurant, the dental, but I think the dentist, the two people, I think they're the dentists, I think they may be African. I don't think they're American.
Gotcha.
This person with the restaurant, she's American. There's another person that did a hotel, but they still had to work with another local.
Excellent.
So those are about the only ones off the top of my head that are American. I know there's another lady that Paje area, but she's from another country. She's not from Africa. She's from another country, but she opened
not from Tanzania, I guess we're saying, or even she's not from the continent of Africa.
I think she's from the continent of Africa.
Okay, no problem.
She might be from Australia or someplace else. She opened up like a small eatery place, in Paje. So, and then we have people that we know that lived in where we live that moved out to Paje, which is like about another less than an hour from us, that opened up like a vegetable place. What do they call it? They serve like salads and fruits and stuff like that, and make smoothies and stuff like that. But I still say they're American, but I think the people that they work with, they still partner up with someone that's a local. So I don't know that you can just out and out say, this is my business and this is it. You still have to partner with the local.
That's the law.
All the businesses, that's the law here. If you open anything, any business, you have to have a partner who is You cannot just come here and say, who asked for a dentist? If you're looking to open a clinic, you need to get yourself a local who you can partner up with, and you can open the business.
And that's for other African people, like could be Kenyans, like who are our neighbors? Kenyans, Rwandans, Burundi, whoever. You can be, whether they're neighbors or as far west as Nigeria, you have to know, you have to partner up with a local Tanzanian. And this could go for other countries as well,
so
isn't that right? Whatever their law is.
Because I know there is a man we know that has a restaurant. It's like a fast food kind of restaurant in Dar es Salaam. I don't know that he has another partner and I've not asked him. We've sat and chatted, but I've never outright said, is it just you and your wife that own this business, or do you have a partner that's from here? Even though the people that work with him, like serve the food and the cashiers and stuff, they're Tanzanian. But I don't know if he partners. I've never asked him that, so that's something I have to find out about. But he has a business. It's going well for him.
That's very good. No, it sounds like he would, because no, you're saying that's the law, so that's what it.
Well, I don't know
That's
what's
what it
happening
is.
here in Zanzibar, but I guess it's all.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
they're
true.
connected, they're connected.
Oh, you know, in fairness, that's
Yeah,
true, because
yeah.
there are some things that are run differently governmentally
That's
in the
all.
island
Yeah.
as opposed to. So that's a good reminder, as well.
But she's right. It is still. That's what it came out recently. That thing about who can do what.
So you want to partner up, and what are, in addition to the legalities, of course, because you want to enjoy your time and thrive. Evelyn, what's the advantages of partnering up for both parties?
So the advantage has you're elevating the local economy by giving someone else an opportunity to open up a business with you. But that is a personal and national level.
Yeah.
But also you're providing employment opportunities for the locals, because if you open up a business, definitely you need employees. So that affects family individually and boost up the economy. But as for the expert or a foreigner, it's easier for you to follow up with all the government regulations, because you have a local who knows and who has the right papers that will help you get everything done smoothly and fast.
Very good.
And also someone who has the knowledge of the area, and it will also help in marketing and how to do things. So I think that those are some I can think top of my head.
So how many locks does mom have now? And hope y'all are enjoying this who are watching with us live. Welcome. Good morning over in the States, or good morning, Grand Rising, wherever it is. So mom's got 8 locks. That's my mom right there. In case you're new, or coming back. Mom has decided to lock her hair up, just like Dad, Daniel, and Evelyn. So everybody done left my bald self. I'm by myself holding it down. So mom's got 8 locks now. So Evelyn's really skilled in a lot of different things. And one of them is doing hair. She's always tightening Dad and Daniel's hair up, however often they need it. It's usually every other month or every month, something like that. So here's a question that we get a lot. Is it safe to be walking around, or will animals get you in Africa?
It depends on the area that you live in. It's not like we have lions walking on every street of Tanzania. No, it depends with the area you live in. But no, it is safe, yes.
Now, where did you grow up?
I grew up in a Kunzal area where that was, so all that you see in National Geographic was a daily life for us, having animals walking, like just passing by, or animals mixing in with like cows and goats. So yeah, but that was because that was like our national park. So you can expect any difference. You live in their habitat.
So wait, so you can just walk around in Africa and ain't no lion gonna cross your path? Elephant, giraffe?
No, if it's not any national park, no, you can safely walk and.
So there ain't no lions where we at right now?
No.
No lion?
No lions.
No crocodiles? No hyenas?
No.
Okay.
Just have dogs and cats.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
all we have.
That's all we
Friendly, your neighborhood dogs and cats. Mostly cats.
Mostly cats?
Yes.
So it's safe here
Yes.
from the wildlife?
Yes. Very safe.
Okay. And you said it depends on what when it comes to encountering the wildlife?
Depending on the area that you go. So if you move to a national park close, because there are villages that are nearby the national parks, then you can expect that. But if you live somewhere where there is no national park, like it's an island, the most wild animals we have are like colobus monkeys.
So Zanzibar is an island. Zanzibar.
And maybe in the mainland, if you live far away, you won't have to deal with animals.
And what were the monkeys you mentioned again? I was talking, I'm sorry. Colobus monkeys. We've seen those. If y'all have been following the channel, you've seen our tours across Zanzibar. And yes, we saw the black and red. I think they're black and also red colobus monkeys, you know, for sure. Okay. And if you're just joining us, welcome. And we're talking about the wildlife and the conserved areas. Evelyn, you grew up in Ngorongoro Crater. And what's your tribe again? So you're a Maasai. Okay. And so you grew up amongst the wild animals, but y'all are expert. Is that right? Y'all can do that.
Yeah, with my mind, I'm here.
So people shouldn't just be going out in the bush, not that they would, especially black folk.
Yeah, but yeah, you just need to be careful when you go to a place. Make sure you talk to people and they tell you if it's safe or not safe. But yeah, it depends with area that you go.
What area? Okay. Okay. That's good to know. So guys, you're watching. We're just taking questions. Mom and Evelyn definitely gonna be here for a while. We've already ordered up something to eat. Mom's about 8 or 10 locks in.
Y'all order food?
Dad did. Ethiopian place.
I was just thinking about it. That's why.
What is that we're thinking of?
I thought, oh, what's going on fire?
So you know what? So guys, ask us if you can hear. Here, I'll come on camera real quick. Here with my boo. Here with Mama. Okay, Mom getting locked up. So
Exciting.
exciting. And also for me and Eve's channel, we streaming too. So
yeah, all right.
feel free to ask us your questions. Ask Mom your questions about her being an American living abroad. I mean, I'll answer some stuff too, but you can hear I'm instigating off camera. And then you can ask Evelyn about living and working amongst Americans as well. And also, she's a continental African she's got the lived experience. If there's anything she can't answer, she'll let you know. You can email us and everything. All that stuff is in the description of these videos. Sometimes we can't answer things immediately, but that doesn't mean we can't have dialogue, in the email or something like that. So we love to have your questions. You asked about the hair care. Mom was talking about that earlier. If you're just tuning in or something like that, we're just vibing and chilling, and it's just nice to be able to share Evelyn's knowledge and lived experience with y'all and laugh and learn together. So, yeah. So that's what we doing. Okay, so Mom, you've lived here, which also means I've lived here. Going on 3, it's gonna be how many years?
4 years next month.
Is that?
No, 3 years next month.
3 years next month in Tanzania, Zanzibar. And then how many years?
It'll be 4 years in December in Africa.
Nice. Okay. Tim Black says, hello, everyone. Hello, Tim. Hello. So how is it you're still here in a new country from an immigration standpoint? What's going on?
Well, we're retired. Dad and I are retired. And so we have our residence. We had to go through and, you got to fill out all the paperwork and background check and things like that to maintain the stay here. We got our little card. We got our card. We got our passport stamped. And so because we bought property and stuff, that really helped. And it's a 2-year residency thing. So because he's the man, he's got his looks a little different than mine. And so I'm what's called an independent connected.
Or dependent.
Dependent connected with him.
That part I did remember.
Thank you.
No problem.
I knew it was on Indeed words.
So you got Tanzanian citizenship?
No.
What you got?
It's called a resident because we own property.
Residence. So you have, what's the full name of the one you have? Or not just what's it called?
Full name.
Or just what's it called?
It's a retirement visa.
There you go. Retirement visa. Okay.
And the card is because I'm a resident. So it's a 2-year resident. Every 2 years we have to renew.
Every 2 years you have to renew. Nice. Were you able to do this before moving here? Or did you do it when you got here?
No, we did it once we got here.
Okay. Okay. Evelyn, do you know if that's a permit one can get prior to moving to Tanzania, or do they have to get it in Tanzania?
I may need to check on that, but I think
Sure.
you can get it here. But you can start the applications while you're there. So,
Nice. Okay. And in fact, Evelyn, when someone comes to visit Tanzania, Zanzibar, or to live here, what immigration process would they go through? What type of visa would they get?
tourist visa,
Mhm.
that is only 3 months.
Mhm.
So you can start with that while you work on getting whatever other type of visa that you are looking forward to.
Tourism visa. And that's for
Provided
3
easy,
months.
you can apply for that.
Easier, yeah.
That's the easiest.
You can apply for that from the States
Yes,
before you even get on the plane.
I believe so.
Oh, okay. And of course, fact check everyone. You know, it's cool because Evelyn lives here. So I remember someone once asked my family, as Americans, we were still in America, about the green card. And we didn't really know what to tell them because we're already citizens of America.
Yeah.
So it's also, in fairness, the same thing for Evelyn. She's already a Tanzanian citizen, passport holder. So there are certain things she hasn't had to think about. So this is fun to be getting these questions, and we can look into those things and answer as we know. So, question here. Tim Blake asks, is it possible to get a tour guide at a reasonable cost? How would you answer that?
You're speaking to one, but yes. No, that was a joke. But yes, you can. Yes, you can get a tour guide. Depending on how long you're staying and what are the activities that you want to do, definitely you can get affordable tour guides.
What would affordable, when you think of, we were talking about conversions earlier. Well, if Tim, if you would like to weigh in more, what would reasonable be to you?
What's he want to do? Yeah. Is he trying to do a safari? Is he trying to do a beach? Yeah, what is he trying to do? Yeah, and what it all entails.
He also asks, when your mother says she owns land, is she talking about an actual land or a house? I think, I don't think she said land, I think she said house.
House.
House, yes, so
I said property, but.
property.
House.
So do we pay
We pay
anything?
taxes. Yeah, we pay something every year. I forget what it is now.
But we keep up with the annual payment.
What'd you
which-
say? What'd you say?
So we pay the HOA
Homeowners, we play homeowners.
here in the
every
development.
year, yeah.
Do we pay rent or mortgage?
Nope, because we bought it outright. Nope.
That's a blessing. Bought it outright.
Nope.
So there are
No
possibilities for
mortgage,
that.
hallelujah.
Yes, thankful to Most
Just
High.
we pay for water, we pay for electricity, we pay the homeowners.
Association fees.
What's it,
For
house
this development?
insurance. Yeah.
Just for this
House
particular
insurance,
area.
yeah.
Every area is different. Some people are in developments.
Yeah.
Some people rent out more in
Yeah.
the village or in, am I saying that right? Yeah. What was the other one I was about to say? They rent, and then some people build, don't they?
Yeah.
Some people build houses. We know some people who have done that. That was the way they wanted to go. So they just built up and they've completed things and whatnot. So there are options so long as you do everything in bounds of the law and whatnot. But those are opportunities for people to do stuff like that, which is pretty great. So I love that. Let's see. So, okay. So you was asking about the property and stuff like that. All right. So that's good. Let me see. What's another thing that people ask us all the time? We talked about the food and everything. Do they got McDonald's here?
No.
Do they got Chick-fil-A?
No,
They got KFC?
not here, but they do in Dar.
Dar es Salaam?
Dar
Okay,
es
this is-
Salaam, Tanzania, they have KFC, they have Pizza Hut. Yeah, but not
Okay.
here, not in Zanzibar.
Tim Black. I'm mostly interested in the country's history, not really looking for safaris or beach tours. Okay.
Oh, yeah, Stonetown can give them that.
Yeah.
Say again?
Stonetown,
Yeah.
which is downtown from here, from Zanzibar, can give you a lot of history. You can do a walking tour on your own. Well, on your own, you can do it, or you can get a local tour guide. They can take you all the way through and give you all the history. And then there's other areas, there's different, what was that thing we did with the monkeys, and.
Yeah, in Jazani Forest.
Jazani Forest, there's
Dolphin tours.
dolphin thing we've done. There's a lot of different things that
Prison
we've done
Island.
about the area. Prison Island gives you a little history. But yeah, there is an actual tour at Stonetown. It tells you about that area, what happened there and stuff. Yeah.
Excellent. That reminds me, off top. So, here we go. Tim Black, how is the language barrier? Mom?
Let's see. I think it's minimal for me. It's not too bad. I guess because we've been here for a while, and I'm finding more and more people do speak English. I know when we lived in Rwanda, it was a little harder. The gap of people weren't necessarily speaking the language, and so they didn't necessarily understand us. We didn't understand each other. But I'm finding here, even if I don't know a lot of Swahili, I've met enough people that we can still converse a little bit and kind of get through the conversation and get to kind of understand each other. But it does do you well to, even if you don't learn a whole lot, learn the kind of the basics, because the people here, they love to communicate. They can say hi to you, how's your day, but they're going to ask you, how's your family? They're wanting to get to know you. They're communal. They want to get to know you. So it really does do good to know, even if you just learn a minimum. Learn a little bit of the language. So.
Can you spit some Swahili, Mom?
Why you put me on the spot?
Hey, even if it's one word.
Caribou, Sante Sana, thank you. Pole pole, slow. Let's see what else. I don't speak it a whole lot because I'm always talking English. But
Oh,
yeah.
that's good. Those are some.
I need to do more though. We're supposed to be picking it because we've taken it. We're supposed to be picking up again. I think because we've been doing so much in our YouTube channel and other stuff, I haven't really taken the time to sit down and go through back again over the language, and I need to do that. So that's the thing of going back over it, because every time we go through different areas where we live, we have the security and stuff, and they're always speaking. So if you say something back to them in Swahili, they'll say something else and something else and something else. And by the time they've said 2 or 3 other things, they've lost me because I don't know some of the words they're saying. So it does behoove you to kind of, get to say more things and learn more things. So, but we get by. We kind of understand each other, and a lot of the words that they do say, I might not be able to give an answer, but I kind of somewhat know what they're saying. It's like when I learned Spanish. I may not speak it fluently, but I think I kind of understood more what they were saying than maybe me saying it back. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Who taught you Swahili? Who's your
This
teacher?
young lady right here doing my hair.
Yeah, I teach something. If you wanna learn, you can definitely. I have a channel, Swahili Fast. You can start there, but yeah, we have different cohorts that take you through basic Swahili, so you can familiarize yourself with like the language. But also to add on that, like a lot of people, we do go to school. We're taught a little bit of English, so we can speak a little bit of English, like say some of the important words that you might need in a conversation. So that will also help you navigate. But learning the language puts you in a better position.
Right.
It really helps also when you're going shopping for food and interchange dealing with money and stuff. If you can say some things in Swahili, it carries you a lot. It really, really helps in that respect. So
You can find all the information to learn more about Swahili with Evelyn. All of that is linked. The email is linked. The second YouTube channel is linked in the description of these live streams. Okay? I'll put them in the chat for you as well, all right? Tim Black said, last question, Mom, why Zanzibar?
I think because when we were living in Rwanda, we love water. We love the beach area. And I can't recall exactly how we found out. It might have been a video we were looking at. And they talked about properties here. Plus, prior to that, we had some friends that came here to look at where we are, the property. And so we knew about it ahead of time. But I think because we had seen something about that and they had certain property here at prices that sounded really good for us, it just sounded like a good opportunity to come here and get property and have the opportunity to have some type of residency. And so we chose this area because we just liked it.
Nice. Thank you for your questions, Tim. Doesn't have to be the last question. You know, you might be heading out or just enjoying watching. It's nice to be able to spend time with y'all. So that's really good. Mom, yeah, we really love the water because also we moved to East Africa region from Los Angeles, Southern California. So I think we were pretty spoiled. We'd always loved water. Like we used to, prior to living in Los Angeles, I grew up, I'm her oldest son, Josiah. They raised me in the DMV and we spent lots of time in Virginia Beach.
Right.
Or going to Annapolis,
Mhm.
or was it Rehoboth? Maybe
Rehoboth, yes.
here and there, or Myrtle Beach in the DMV,
Yeah.
DC, Maryland, Virginia
Right,
area.
right.
Again, if you're watching, you've been with us this long, in the comments, chime in, let us know where you watch, what city, state,
Yeah.
country are you watching from? We'd love to say hello. But yeah, mom and dad raised my brothers and I around the water a lot. Sandbridge, Virginia
Oh,
Beach.
yeah, that's a community area,
Good
yes.
community
Really that
area.
family community, yes.
We're
really nice.
blessed to live there, vacation there from
Vacation,
time to
yeah.
time. So that compounded with living in SoCal, just a few years ago, we moved from there to East Africa. And so we enjoyed the soft landing in Rwanda and it propelled us here to Zanzibar
Yeah.
to be near, even closer to the Indian Ocean. Like we can't take it there now, obviously. We can walk like what, 5 minutes
Yeah,
to the lagoon.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
this coastal living
right,
is
right.
really, really good.
Yeah.
So
And we like the weather. We like warm, hot, heat.
yeah, that part as well. So that's really good, especially for mom and dad. But black folk, especially if y'all watching, black folk need the sun.
We need it, yes, yes.
So we really do. We got some other questions. Lisa Valentine, couple questions here. 3 questions. Mom, buying property, well, and Evan, buying property in Zanzibar allows a person to have permanent residence?
Not permanent.
No,
Not
no,
permanent?
not
How would
permanent.
you describe it?
Uh,
How could you summarize?
I had said before, because we retired and we're on, you have to do like a resident, because we have property, it's a residence visa. So it's like every 2 years we have to up it. So it's not a permanent thing. It's every, like most people that live in some of the places here, they may not do that and they might say in Rwanda it was 6 months. So every 6 months you had to leave, you know.
And then in Tanzania, on
yeah.
the tourism, you have to
Right.
leave every 3 months.
3 months. But because we bought property here,
They
we
have
bought,
retirement.
and I have a retirement, they go hand in hand. It's every 2 years. So no, it's not permanent.
Okay. Okay, you said how long? Can I bring my pet dog?
Yeah, a lot of people have bought animals. Yes. Yeah. a
Yes,
lot
you
of
can.
people-
You can.
A lot of people have, like I say, it's more cats in this area, but I think it's because it's just cat friendly. But a lot of people do have dogs too.
Yeah.
Nice. Evelyn, would you weigh in on anything else about that immigration question? Was that mom sum it up well?
Yeah, it's not like, because you cannot have citizenship. I think
Yeah.
citizenship would be
That's what they knew when they said
a
permanent.
permanent thing.
So
But you cannot
say
have
that one more time.
citizenship.
You what?
You cannot have citizenship.
Okay.
Yes.
How come?
But they just
What did you
rules.
say?
We don't have dual citizenship. So if you want to become a Tanzanian citizenship, you will have to revoke your American citizenship.
Or wherever you're from.
Or wherever
Yeah.
you're from.
Yeah.
So if you're not looking to do that, there is no payment. But you have residency that allows you to have the same services a lot of locals have, but then you have an option of renewing it every 2 years. If it comes to the point where you feel like maybe an interchange and go somewhere else, you can up and go.
Yeah.
But your property will still stay here.
Okay. Property still stay here. Okay. Royal priesthood, shalom, family. Does Tanzania, shalom, peace to you. Does Tanzania allow repats to open bank accounts? / what's the minimum? And if so, what's the minimum amount? Can you speak to that?
Yeah, you
Well, no,
can.
both of
I'm
them.
not sure
The minimum is like you have to have, if you're opening a dollar account, I think it's almost like $20.
Yeah, it's real small.
Yeah, $20 in your account
Yeah,
to
yeah.
open it. And for a shilling account, you have to have 20,000.
Yeah,
It's almost like $5, $10.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
when we
what
opened
you
ours,
have.
it was 20,000 shillings, yes.
And how, unless you said it already, for those who are new, can you break down the conversion shilling to
It was
USD?
like, it's like maybe less than $10, a little less than 10.
Yeah, less than
Yeah.
$10.
Yeah.
Do you have to be what's the immigration status to open an account?
From my understanding, you can still research on this. You don't have to be an expert or anybody can have an account, really, because they open your account using your passport. So if you're
Yeah.
a tourist here and you are staying 3 months, you can open the account for the 3 months that you're here. Once you leave, you will go at employment or they know how they close the accounts. But if you're an expert, for sure, you just go with your passport and you open it. That's all. You just have to prove where you live or where you rented.
Right, right.
That's all. It's not really a hard process opening a bank account.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It's not.
Yeah, because we have accounts
Yeah.
ourselves. Mom's got one, mom, dad one.
Yeah.
I have one.
I understand.
Daniel's got one. Oh, there go Daniel right now. Daniel's got accounts,
Mhm.
an account. So yeah. So there you go, royal priesthood. Yes, it is allowed.
It is
For sure.
possible.
Absolutely. So that's always good to know. And thank you for breaking down the conversions. Yeah, it sounds like money goes further. USD goes
Yes, it does.
happens to go much further, right?
You brought the card? Thank you, Ben.
Oh.
You're not gonna see the other half of it, but this is what it looked like.
That's
You went down there too.
Oh. This is
what it looked like.
You're not gonna see the other half. That's my business.
So there you go. So how do you feel about the conversions from USD?
No, I think it's nice. You know, it's and like you say, we're learning. The more you do transactions, like you said, the 4 million and whatever, you just learn.
Yeah.
We have a thing on our phone anyhow that helps us, a converter that helps us. Like if we're wondering how much something is, we just put in the amount. It goes for any other country you want. So we're here, but if you were in England, or if you were in Portugal or someplace else, you just put that on the conversion thing, and it helps. So yeah, I love it.
How do you feel emotionally, Mom, about being retired abroad? Again, in December, we would have lived abroad 4 years. Time flies.
I think what's interesting is I enjoy it, but because we have our channel, I don't always feel like I'm retired. 'Cause
No,
we're
fair
busy.
enough.
We're
We
busy.
We busy.
Sometimes we're real busy, and then sometimes we're not. But I enjoy it. I do, because I'm still not answering to anybody. I'm not having to go into some place or something, or a certain deadline for whatever, other than the things that we're doing that is part of us. So I'm really enjoying it, not having to deal with, oh God, I got this project to do, I got whatever to do, I got to be here at that, or, so I'm really enjoying it. I do.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad, because I'm like, wow. Mark Animation 96, peace to all Tanzanian people. Peace to you, brethren.
Peace to you too.
Excellent, love to hear that. And it's good, because you're, how long you been retired, Mom?
I think it was 2019 or 2020. I'm trying, with the code,
Yeah.
the thing that happened. I think it was 2019, mid-year or something like that.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
so it's been a little bit of time. A little bit.
That's good. So sounds like you got a lot of peace.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that-
We were in California, and I was trying to, I had finished up with the working regular job that I had. And then, when Daniel, my last son, graduated, I said, what am I gonna do? And I said, maybe I'll do substitute teaching. And so I had done that. Not that long, because not long after that, we left. But when we moved to California, I said, well, maybe I'll do the same thing. But what was going on there was a little different. You had to take a test. Whereas when we were in Maryland, you didn't have to take a test. You just filled out the forms you had to fill out, and
Right.
And so then I was gonna have to do a math portion and all this, that, and the other, and I was like, oh, I don't feel like doing this. And then we were talking to our financial person. He was saying, so how old are you again? Da, da, da. I told him my age. I think it was, I don't know if I was 62 at the time. I'm trying to remember my age at the time. He said, well, you can retire, so that's when I just went on and, did the paperwork and everything. And so, yeah, fabuloso, happy about that.
How old are you right now?
Oh, I'll be 71 in October. Yeah, I can't believe it's been that long. Ooh, 71, yeah.
You still looking young,
I'm trying.
eating right.
Trying. Yeah.
Right. So wait, you mean to tell me retired folk in their 70s can move abroad?
Yes.
Better yet, to an African country?
Yes. We had people here older than that. There's a family here. The daughter, she might be maybe 52 or 3. Her mother is probably my age, and then the grandmother is like 91 or 2 or something like that. So yes, various families have people older that are here. There's a lot of people we know in their 70s, mid 70s, 80s. So a lot of people have moved. A lot of people may have had some health issues and get here and don't have the health issues anymore, and so or maybe we're on certain medications or no longer on those medications, because the stress level it just goes down. It's just so peaceful, so yeah.
That's good. Do they have services? Lisa Valentine asked, do they have services like DoorDash? Uber Eats.
They don't necessarily have that. They have certain places that you eat at that may do carry out, and they would bring it to you, but they don't necessarily have, at least not here on the island that I recall.
Or it's not called.
Yeah,
Or maybe it has a different name.
yeah, it has a different name, but no,
But do they have food delivery service? That's
yes,
what
they do
sushi
have
is.
that. Yes, they do have that.
Yeah, like we have some Ethiopian food
Mhm.
coming. I don't know what service is bringing it. It could be the restaurant itself, or it
Yeah.
could be someone
They have a
else.
separate company that works with them
They
to
might,
bring the
yeah.
food, the driver that brings the food, yeah. So like certain restaurants we love that we eat at, and they'll deliver, the food to us and stuff like that, yeah.
Nice. Amani Soul, hello there. Is learning Swahili difficult?
No, it's not difficult.
I haven't found.
I didn't feel it was difficult. It's like anything, you just want to keep up with it, and use it. You got to really use it, so yeah,
Oh, I
keep
do
up
use
with
it,
it, yeah.
I'm right. I still retain some high school Spanish.
Yeah.
I thought I lost a lot of it.
Mhm.
You know.
You don't talk to somebody with it, you do lose it. So, but yeah, I didn't think it was fun. I enjoyed it. Yeah, and it's fun because when as we were learning it, going every week learning it, and that goes shopping, I would see certain signs. I'm like, oh, we learned that word, So it's just nice knowing that you start seeing things that you've learned. So yeah, that was nice. Yeah, I like that.
That's good. Yeah, we find it to be a very kind of open language. Plus, it's used everywhere.
Yeah.
Plus,
yeah.
you know some Swahili if you watch The Lion King,
Yeah.
Disney, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kuma,
You know,
Kuma,
Hakuna Matata.
yeah, they say that a lot. I thought it was like, oh, people say, yeah, they got that from us, so it's a real thing, yeah. And some of these they might say, and
You
we've
know,
heard.
Simba.
Yeah.
What does that mean, Emily?
Lion.
Simba
Yeah.
means lion.
Mhm.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Rafiki, the baboon, the
Mhm.
spiritual counselor. What's that mean?
Friend.
So there you go.
So yeah, so certain, yeah.
So there's some stuff. So no, Swahili we found to be very open. It's in all the tourism. In fact, that's
Right.
how they approach it.
Mhm.
With the greetings, with a lot of the words and things, and yeah, even things like cinema, depending on where you're going.
Right.
it might help. It's at everyone's discretion when they're creating a thing. But
Mhm.
admittedly, all of us learned a handful
Yes.
of Swahili words, what, 25, 30 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
Just through that
Mhm.
movie, honestly.
Mhm.
Amani, so are you on a path to residence or are you renewing a travel visa? They're
No.
new, they just joined.
Yeah, no, I have a resident, because
So
we
do I.
bought property, and so, every 2 years, we had just, got it renewed a few months ago, so every 2 years we renew it, yeah.
Yeah, same with me. I have a, y'all can see, because
Yeah.
I'm talking off
Yeah.
camera, but I got an investment visa myself, and so yes, it's also
Yeah.
renewed every 2 years.
Right, and our other son, he has a student
Student.
one, it's renewed every 2 years.
Every 2 years. So yeah, we like residency, honestly. New residency schemes are popping up
Mhm.
all the time. Digital nomad is one of the most popular
Yeah.
and new, honestly. So we talk about that a lot on the channel from time to time. Wait, that don't make sense. We talk about it a lot.
When it comes up, people ask us, or if that's the topic we're talking about. So.
Yeah. In fact, you didn't ask this, but I just heard I have to read up that I believe the country Croatia just opened up and or revised their digital nomad visa
Wow.
for those who
Okay.
like to work online,
Mm.
who have an online business, online entrepreneurs, and things like that. So there are new things popping up all the time. We didn't ask this either, but we push or encourage like residencies because in our experience, they're just easier to get. Citizenship, one in any given country might not be possible because like Tanzania, for example, if you're in a country where there's no dual citizenship, well, there you go. And then residencies can be acquired very quickly in a matter of months and can put you on the path to citizenship if that's what you're interested in. That's just a little something to help y'all out. Getting hot.
Or
Was
that
it
extra light, probably.
Johto? I hope Johto means hot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully not that's
No, that
fluorescent.
should be okay, yeah.
Fluorescent.
Oops.
Drop some.
I got it.
So we appreciate y'all's questions. This is good. Mom, if you're just joining us, Mom's getting her hair locked up. She's got maybe a dozen or more locks now. If y'all can see that. So in fact, I might move some of the stuff around just a little bit. But ask us your questions. This is called Ask an African Part 1. I mean, Mom's African too. But when you stop and think about it. But we're definitely giving our expat answers as well as Evelyn's continental answers to things, So just things you want to know about moving abroad or the culture and things like that. Ask away. And I was fielding some questions as well about things. It could be residence, could be food, could be the weather stuff. In fact, yeah, it's been very mild. We were just talking to my brother back in the States. It's been low 70s to mid 80s sometimes. It still gets very hot and sunny during the day. But yeah, it's been like this since what, rainy season?
Yeah, since February, March, yeah, and we haven't needed the air conditioning. Very rarely do we put it on. Used to be at night you'd need it because it would be hot, but it hasn't been that way. It's been pretty cool. Haven't even needed my fan on in the room. Usually because all rooms have fans, haven't needed to do that. I just have my window halfway open because it's been really, really, really cool. So it's been kind of interesting. I was saying today, I said, it's going to be interesting to see what next month looks like because when we moved here, it was the end of September. It was very, very hot. I mean,
yes, 85
hot. Felt like 95. So it's going to be interesting to see if that's going to be the same because I don't care where you live. Every year is probably different.
Yeah.
You can probably look back and say, oh, wow. Because I know this time last year wasn't like this.
I don't think so.
Hot. So it's like, so just paying attention, things be changing, so.
Exactly. Okay, here's one I just thought of.
Mhm.
What would you two say? Why should people move to an African country?
Peace of mind, especially if you live in the West or the States, say the States. It's a lot going on there. Peace of mind. A lot of times people tell you things about Africa, especially the news is very slanted. Probably about 95% of what they tell you is not true. The negative. They give a lot of negative. But coming here, it's beautiful. I feel free. The freedom, the peace of mind, the rest, the safety. I don't feel like I'm, when police go by, I don't get jerky. I don't, whatever. It's a whole different environment of living here. I feel welcome. I don't necessarily feel like the odd man out. Like people say, well, you're not really African. How do you, I don't really feel that way. I think because we've established different relationships and we just came with a different mindset. So it depends on what your mindset is when you come. So, yeah.
What would you say, Evelyn? Born and raised.
I mean, there's a lot of things that are good in Africa for sure. As she said, peace of mind. We may have some of the things that we're dealing with, but to some extent, we live a very peaceful life. We live a very peaceful, happy life with what we have. We have a lot of things that are organic and natural here, so we're not worried about, oh, this is not. Like I read at some point that they were trying to make meat out of machines. We don't have to worry about that because you see the chicken being slaughtered to your table. So security, sense of peace, food, and I think it's because it's a developing countries, a lot of them. There's open opportunities for people to do investment and develop. So those are like sounds from me.
I'll just when we put them in a bowl.
Yeah, one of those small little yogurt bowls in the cabinet.
So those are like some of the ones that I think of in my head. Because I'm known in Africa, so my whole life I've lived here.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything to compare it with.
Right. Yeah.
Would you go ahead, Mom?
Yeah, but I was just saying, we even though we've only lived in two different countries, we've been to Uganda, and that we really enjoyed that. It was just a few days we enjoyed that, but we want to go to other places. We want to be able to go to other countries and just see what it's like, So.
Okay. Evan, did you ever move to the United States?
No. From what I'm seeing, I'm very happy where I am. Maybe to visit if things calm down, but never to be there.
Now, what do you mean what you're seeing? Is it what we tell you, or do you see
No,
this
I
on
see a
real
lot of
news?
things
Or?
on the news.
Okay.
Like a lot
Wait,
of
how you see stuff on the news?
'cause we
Y'all got
have-
news in Africa?
We do have televisions, we do have internet, so we see a lot of things.
Y'all got internet?
Yes.
Y'all got TV?
We do have TV, television, we live in houses, we don't live in huts.
You got
Some do, but yeah, we have.
iPhone? You got TikTok?
Yes.
Instagram? Twitter? Well, no one
Yeah.
got Twitter no more. It's X now.
We have all that.
Facebook? You got
Yes.
social media?
Uh-huh.
Really?
Yeah, that's how you get the channel to learn Swahili fast. I mean, they learn a lot of things. But yeah, I see a lot of things happening, and I don't think I ever want to live in a place where I don't feel safe. I love my country or where I live.
You?
I can just move from here. Police are our friends. I can chat with the police in the car if I get stopped. Say I'm driving and they stop me. They're my friends. You can talk, reach an agreement. I'm not scared seeing them because we don't have all that is going on in the state. So like no.
You friends with police? Policing?
Yes.
Even when we've been stopped, they're just asking, where are you going? They're not trying to hurt us. So.
No? Okay. Oh wait, what about that Bribery?
Chai.
Is that a thing? What's that?
Sometimes they just, I think they're just hungry or they're
Yeah.
thirsty, they've been out there, whatever. And you can give them a bottle of water, you don't have to give them money.
Yeah.
You can give them water, so yeah.
So it's not that. So what did you say? It's chai? What's that?
Chai is tea.
It means tea. And so why they need tea?
So, it's a customary for us. If you go into someone's house or you meet with someone, you give them tea. It could be informal because tea is, I think because we were colonized by British, so they left us with the tea culture.
Yeah.
But I think it's like you give them something, water, soda, whatever, or money, but we call all that tea. So in terms of police, yes, that is technically a little bit bribery, but it's not bribery because they don't have a mistake. They find it. They just stop you. Where are you going? Can we have some chai? And you can either give them or don't give them.
So
And
this
it's-
is neighborliness.
Yeah, and it's not like we're talking hundreds of dollars.
No.
It could be a 1,000 T shilling, which is like less than 50 cents.
So that's
So,
unfair to call
yeah.
it. So it's
Yeah.
fair to call it
Chai.
tea, chai,
Mhm.
snack.
Mhm.
Nice.
Mhm.
So you're okay. You're not getting shook down,
Mhm.
are you? No. Okay. All right.
I've never had to give anybody anything since they stopped us and we were going.
No,
certain
I didn't give them
places,
nothing,
but- Mhm.
and it was okay. It was fine. Evelyn, you don't always give, and it's fine. You go on about your business.
Mhm.
So okay. So they're friendly and neighborly. Amani Soul, have you lived in the mainland, Tanzania?
No,
No.
been there
Been multiple times. Was there
quite a
recently?
few, every so many months. It seems like we're
Every
going,
now,
but
every
now,
now and again, we like to go. You know,
not live there.
still a lot to see.
Yeah, I've stayed for like weeks on end, like a week here or there, like we go. I've gone, and so I see an eye doctor there. So I'll go and we'll stay for maybe about 5 days or something, but no,
Yeah, nice.
not live there.
Amani Soul, it's hard to hide a dumpster fire. Talking about the West, I guess, the United States in this case. Amani Soul, is there birthright citizenship?
Yes.
Say again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please.
Can you summarize anything or shed any light? How citizenship work for those who are new coming in Tanzania?
For Tanzania, it's like for birthright, from what I understand, if you're born in Tanzania and both of your parents are foreigners, you're not a citizen, I think. You're not.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And if you're born in Tanzania and one of your parents is Tanzanian, then when you reach 18, you have to choose which citizenship.
That's right.
Which citizen?
That's right.
Whether
Okay.
you choose from, if it's your mom's side or your dad's side, you need to choose one.
You need to choose.
Mhm.
Okay.
You don't have to. So I think that's what I understand
Okay.
how citizenship works. But if both of your parents are Tanzanian like mine, then
Yeah.
you're fully Tanzanian.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Good to know. Okay. Now let's see what else we got going on here. Please. Oh, gotcha. Sorry, the plane went over. If both your parents are Tanzanian, you got the birthright citizenship. But if one of them is from another country when you're 18, because there is no dual citizenship currently in Tanzania,
Mhm.
when you're 18, you must choose. Okay. So I think Imani Soul hadn't heard. No problem. So that's what's going on there with the citizenship. What's your favorite thing about Tanzania?
Me?
Or both of you, or
Everything. This is my country.
Mhm.
Everything. I'm compromised. I love the culture, I love the people, I love the environment, the scenery, the natural resources, everything. Everything.
Yeah,
So
I love
I'm
it. I love the culture. The people are very giving. It's beautiful here. Yeah. I really love the people most of it. It's very giving.
Excellent. You're welcome, Imani Soul. Yep. So if you guys are just now joining us, hello, Yolanda Volsi. Hope I said that right. Thanks for the hearts. Mom's getting her hair locked up. How many does she have now?
I didn't count.
Probably almost
More
2
than a
dozen.
Yeah.
So she's getting her hair locked up. Evelyn's locking up her hair, doing a great job. And so we're just answering your questions about expat life in Africa, specifically Tanzania, from me and mom, mainly mom's point of view, as a retiree, living abroad, living in Tanzania, and Evelyn as a continental African, as a Maasai Tanzanian woman. We're just doing some cultural exchange, answering loads of questions from you all. It's been good. Royal priesthood, besides visiting, what are options for researching properties? I guess while you think off the top, YouTube is a good
Yes.
place to begin. We've even been telling people, not only YouTube, but like when you go on YouTube, make a dedicated YouTube channel
Yeah.
just for researching living abroad, so that you leverage the algorithm in your favor. No pop the balloon or find love,
Yeah.
no shade room, no cat videos. Watch that on something else. If, say, you would start your researcher journey for properties or otherwise abroad on YouTube, create a dedicated YouTube channel so as that all that stuff can be housed in one place, and you become best friends with that algorithm. But what else would y'all say about options for researching property?
I don't know, that sounds the best, besides Googling where you think you might want to go. You have to decide ahead of time, what is it you're looking for? What type of environment do you want to be in? So that helps you to know what country to go to, or what, like some people think of Africa as hot all over. South Africa has 4 seasons. Some places just have 2, like Rwanda is more of a rainy, they have the rainy, like here they have heavy rain, light rain. Rwanda has rainy season too. And it might get cool and stuff because it's a little cooler there than here. So you need to know, what is it you're looking for? Where is it you're trying to go? So you'd want to have that in mind, and that helps you to know where you want to land. If it's do you want to be like we're in the east area because people are a little more laid back, relaxed here, and we like that. In the west, they tend to be a little more like the West, like the USA, and we want it a little different. So it depends on what you're looking for,
What would you say, Evelyn?
I think YouTube is the best place to start researching, and because there you can get a lot of companies that do real estate and they have projects. And if you have websites on different projects that are working on in that specific country that you have, but YouTube is a good place to start.
Nice. Yeah.
Because there are a lot of experts in different countries, a lot of locals who speak on things, and then you can get most of your information there. But if you want to get deeper into the information, it's not going to specific companies and asking specific questions for a specific area.
Nice. And of course, if you guys have additional questions for that, you can shoot us an email. We put that information in the description of these streams, like right now. You can just ask questions about that more one-on-one with email there. We also talk about stuff like that in our workshops as well. You can also see all the information for those things in our description as well.
Yeah, that's why I was saying we have a tool that helps you to find out where you want to go.
Yeah.
What's a best fit for you, and so that would help you do that.
It's okay. No, go ahead.
Trying to quiet down people in the background.
No, that's all right. You just help.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mom.
So yeah, I was just piggyback on what you said, about just emailing us and those things, what we have. To help them better find out what is it they're looking for and have a better fit for them. To know what country works for them,
Yeah, because you also want to know, like, do you want to live, what we talk about, like, do you want to live in the country?
Right.
Do you want to live in the city? Do you want to live coastal? Do you want to live in the mountains or things like that? Knowing what works best for you is very important. In fact, Mom, what do we talk about all the time? It's a 3-letter word. What do they need to know?
What's the identity?
Well, no, the word, 3-letter word.
Oh.
Know your why.
Know your why.
Why do people need to know that?
Because other words, you just shooting, you just you might think this thing one day, then think something else the next day. It's like you need to know, why is it I'm leaving, or why is it I need to do this? And that helps you to make the decision better. Other words, you're just all over the place.
Mhm. And then, okay, you were starting to talk about the 3 pillars, just real quick.
Your identity,
Your mindset.
process.
and
Mindset is
process.
the ultimate, because it helps you to kind of formulate and get organized on what is it you're trying to do, where you're trying to go, what you like, what you don't like, what's important to you, what's not important. So you don't have all these other things around you, distractions and things like that. It helps you to zero in on exactly specifically where it is you want to go, what is it you're looking for.
That's very good. Is there anything else you'd add about properties?
And unless you have, and then you can research more if you have more information of whoever wants to move and want to move where.
Wait,
we can
say
pull
that
up
again.
Some information.
Say the last part again.
I mean, we can pull up some information and, gather some research on things that we find since we're already here pertaining to Tanzania inland, and where are the best places that you can, find, and what are the options available. We can definitely pull that up and, have you guys, or whoever wants it. But generally for research in Africa, just go to YouTube, go to Google, and, start there.
And that's great, babe, because to the point of why you might be, why do you want to move abroad? Why do you want to move to an African nation? Could be retirement. Could be you want to be an entrepreneur. You might want to teach. You might want to adventure, all types of things. So that's very important as far as like that can guide, the type of properties you look into, the type of visa schemes or citizenship, so on. That can like really control everything. Amani Soul, is developing community difficult in Zanzibar? I don't think so.
No, not really.
Because this is
I didn't
tourism
feel-
island, right?
Yeah, I didn't fit. Yeah, especially where we are. It wasn't too hard either when we were in Rwanda. We did meet a lot of people. I must admit. We were able. We had a driver,
Yeah.
and then we met. So we had some friends that were there before us, and so that was a plus, because then they knew people, and then we got introduced to their people, and then as you move around and you go to stores and you do other things, wherever you live, you start meeting people. So that was nice. But being where we are, especially where we live right here, there's a lot of people that are retired. There's a lot of people of various ages and backgrounds. A lot of people from the States, from other countries, and then we've met a lot of local people we've established relationships with. So it's been pretty easy for us, I would say.
Excellent. Yeah, I'd agree. Because again, it's tourism island.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hotels, a lot of
Mhm.
Airbnb.
Right.
We'd also say that when you're looking into community, you were talking about leveraging online. Facebook groups are
That's
a good way
true.
as well. I think
Yeah.
we're still part of a Rwanda Facebook group
Mhm.
that just gives updates on livelihood, on shopping, on rent, you name it, just different things
Yeah.
about making a life in Rwanda for expats. So that can help.
And speaking of expats, if you're looking to go to a specific place, or even if you don't have, maybe you got a list of 5 different places. Look for expat groups in those places. That they can really help you to know, what to do, and some, like a lot of the questions you've asked us, knowing those expat groups, they could probably help you in those areas. Like there's expat groups in Kenya, they're all over the place, I'm sure. So finding those things out would be a big help.
Yes, sorry, I was looking
Yeah,
at
it's
something.
okay.
So that's really good. So yeah, this is our final call for questions. We're about to get ready to go. Again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for all the questions and for letting Mom and Evelyn share stories and answer the questions that you had. We talked about immigration, health, properties, and many other things. Again, Evelyn's great. She's been wonderful to our family, and she's locking up Mom's hair. Mom is crossed over. She's now getting her hair locked up. She's maybe a third of the way through. Maybe if you broke it up into thirds, she got a lot more to go. We just got some Ethiopian food, so we're about to go. But our last question: how do you renew passports? off the top of my head, that can be done online. We have some,
All right, so I went over, I got my passport renewed. Hey, I'm with the team. And
if
they
you're
didn't
abroad.
have, he didn't have to do it. I had to do it. She didn't have to do it. So what you're gonna have to find out is where is your local embassy, okay? And so for us, it was in Dar es Salaam. If you're somewhere else, you may have to go to London. If you're some France, whatever, you're gonna have to go to find your local embassy. We were not able, I could download the paperwork, but could not do it online. What I had to do was complete the paperwork and literally take it there, and took I don't know, 4 weeks, something like that, and then go back and pick up my brand new passport. So it was all good to go. Your concern is really not the logistics of it. Your concern is how things operate. That was a snapshot in time. You need to know how things are operating currently. I did that a few months ago, in January timeframe, something like that. You're saying, but it's only August. Yeah, that's true. But you have to understand, follow the news. What is going on? This administration is looking at closing down embassies. That has a ripple effect. I'm not sure, but folks need to be cautious, because you think everything will just stay the same until you get ready to depart. It doesn't exactly work like that. There's a compression of time, and things are happening at an accelerated pace. And so you really want to jump on that quickly.
There you go.
Thank you.
So thank y'all. We're going to head on out of here.
Yeah.
Remember to check out everything in the video description. Follow Evelyn on TheEveJoExperience, and also Learn Swahili Fast, both on YouTube. Those are linked in the description. If you want more information about moving to Africa and moving to Tanzania, this has been great. Be blessed, and we will see y'all next time.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Maybe we'll put a pic in, you can see how my hair turned out.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.